it's Brewbird. I'm a Canadian girl training to be a whiskey distiller in Scotland. Welcome to the Distilled Kitchen, where we're making British dishes and cocktails, because every good dish deserves a good drink. In our last video, we prepared our turkey and stuffing, but you can't have turkey and stuffing by themselves on Christmas Day. They'll need their trusty sidekicks at the dinner table. Today, we'll be making the classic Christmas meal sides: roasted Brussels sprouts, honey glazed carrots, and epic goose fat roasties. Now, before we begin, some piece of advice when you're making your sides. I found that when you fully season the turkey, gravy, stuffing, and all the sides, when you go to eat everything, the combined flavors are too rich, too oily, and salty, and it's all a bit overwhelming. So I always under-season my Christmas sides. When you serve them with your perfectly seasoned turkey, stuffing, and gravy, there's a better balance between all the flavors, and it just makes for a more enjoyable meal. So go easy on the salt and pepper here. Now for our goose fat potatoes. Goose fat roasties have to be the king of all roast potatoes. The fat just gives the potatoes an amazing crunchy outer layer, like the potatoes have been deep fried. Here I have 1 kilogram of Maris Piper potatoes. I'll peel and halve them. Then I'll parboil them in some boiling salted water for around 15 to 20 minutes until a knife can pierce through. Then I'll pour these into a colander and let them drip dry for 15 minutes. Shake the colander to rough these potatoes up a little bit, as that will create more surface area on the outside of the potato, and these little bits on the outside will get nice and crispy from our fat. Great! I've got a baking tray here lined with aluminum foil. I'll spread a layer of goose fat on the bottom and lay out my potatoes in single file. Then I'll slather 4 to 5 tablespoons more of goose fat on. If you like a crunchier roasty, then add more fat on. Then I'll season lightly with salt and pepper. And lastly, this is optional, I'll add some rosemary sprigs and some crushed garlic with the skin on, so it will perfume the potatoes as it roasts in the oven. Roast at 180 degrees Celsius for an hour. Now for the glazed carrots. We have these cute chantenay carrots here, which originate from France. I'm just going to cut the tops off and keep the skins on them. I'll also have them lengthwise. I'll just pop these into a small pot and fill it with about 2 inches of water. Then I'll add in a tablespoon of honey, half a red onion sliced, 2 garlic cloves sliced, and a knob of butter, and also 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. I'll just let that simmer on the hob for about 15 to 20 minutes until you can stick a knife through the carrots and there's barely any liquid left. Toss the carrots in the reduced honey sauce and sprinkle in some finely chopped parsley, and it's all ready to go. Last but not least, the Brussels sprouts. We'll just cut off the ends and remove the first few outer layers of leaves. Then we'll halve them and I'll drizzle them with olive oil, some pepper, and 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. I really like balsamic vinegar with Brussels sprouts as it provides a sweet and acidic element to the dish. Then I'll put them on a single layer on a baking sheet. This baking tray has been sitting in the hot oven, so as soon as the Brussels sprouts hit the pan, they've already started cooking. I'll roast them for about 20 to 25 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, I have 100 grams of bacon lardons here. Bacon lardons are just small strips or cubes of fatty bacon, so you can just take 3 or 4 strips of bacon and slice them up and it'll be the same thing. I'll get them nice and crisp in a frying pan. When the Brussels sprouts are done, I'll toss them with the lardons and it will add a nice crispy texture and saltiness to our sprouts. I'll also put in another tablespoon of balsamic vinegar, and we're done. Now you've slaved away in the kitchen all day to make Christmas dinner for everyone, to prove that you are indeed the best chef in the family. The last thing you want to do is pull out your cocktail set to make individual cocktails for everyone. So to satisfy everyone's sweet tooth at the end of your glorious Christmas meal, and to keep the cold at bay, we're making hot chocolate. First, I'll cut off 1/3 of this 100-gram chocolate bar, so approximately 33 grams, and I'll chop this up into small pieces so it dissolves easier. We'll be using the double boiler method to make our hot chocolate so that we don't run the risk of burning our drink with direct heat. Just heat up about 2 inches of water in a hob and put a glass bowl on top. We'll put 50 milliliters of water into our bowl and add in 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder. Whisk well so there are no lumps. Then add as much sugar as you like. Here, I'm just going to add 1 tablespoon. Whisk again until dissolved. Then add in 275 milliliters of whole milk and bring the mixture to a simmer. Then add in the chopped up chocolate pieces and whisk until all dissolved. Bring the mixture to a simmer and pour into a mug. Top with whipped cream and enjoy. Ooh, it's warm, creamy, and delicious. Perfect for the winter time. If you want to make an adult version, just pour in a wee dram of your favorite spirit, in this case some whiskey. Stir in and enjoy. Now that we've finished our Christmas sides, we can finally sit down to a proper Christmas tea. We've got our sweet chantenay carrots here, and our stuffing. The sausage in it adds a lot of flavor and juiciness, while the chestnuts give it an earthy taste. We've also got our roasted Brussels sprouts, which are coated in balsamic vinegar for a nice sweet and punchy kick. Then we have our roasted potatoes, which have that wonderful crunchy exterior. It's almost like they've been deep fried. I've also opened a can of sweet corn and boiled some green peas to round out our meal. We've got our turkey made nice and juicy by the mayonnaise and our gravy here to add a bit of sauciness to our plate. Well, excuse me while I go and finish this Christmas tea for one. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe below. Have a happy holidays and I'll see you next time.